Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long. As always, another Laker preview video, doing one for every game this season, getting everybody ready for the upcoming Laker matchup, some things to watch out for in the game, as well as taking a look back at last game. So we're going to talk about Dallas a little bit later. They're missing their best players, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, both out for the game. Dante Exum will also be out for the game. Another good guard for them. Talk about them later on. Jovan Buha quote I thought was interesting about the Lakers' approach to the trade deadline. But first, let's talk about that game against Houston. That was a tough game to watch because the Lakers, I'll give the Lakers credit in the sense that they fought back in the game. The Lakers were down 22 early, really looked like a blowout early on. The Lakers were not bringing it intensely, energy-wise. Houston really seemed to jump all over them. And that was a lot like what happened last year. The Lakers just got boat raced by this team. The young legs we talked about in the last video have been a problem for the Lakers over the last few years, and it certainly seemed that way against Houston. But to the Lakers' credit, they did fight back in this game. Quick look at the box score. LeBron, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 9 assists, doing what he does. As always, AD had a big night with 30. Rui, 13. Reeves, 21 points, 10 assists. Max Christie, 14 points, 6 rebounds. We'll get to him in a minute. And then they kind of shortened the bench. JJ Redick did the other night. Everyone played. Jackson Hayes played. Reddish played and Milton played. But Reddish only played 4 minutes. Milton only played 5 minutes. And Jackson Hayes played 6 minutes. Now, Reddish, part of that could be the low back soreness. He is questionable for this game against Dallas because of that. But Connect and Finney Smith were really the only guys that played off the bench. It really was a 7-man rotation. 7 guys playing significant minutes. Connect had a tough night, 0 points, but Finney Smith did have a nice night with 13. Everyone's going to look back at the end of that game. The Lakers really won the second half. I mean, they were getting after Houston. They were the better team down the stretch. Even when they cut it to like a 5-point deficit and Houston got it back up to 10-12, the Lakers just kept fighting in the game and kind of earned to be there at the end. The LeBron foul, the offensive foul on LeBron was a brutal call. And then the Max Christie throwaway pass was brutal. I mean, it looked like LeBron had got a timeout off. They didn't call it. And then Max threw a pretty lazy pass to LeBron that they were just waiting on and jumped on, got the free throws and hit one. And the game was over because there was only a few seconds left. Who knows what happens in the game? That's the worst way to lose, to not even get a shot up. You just want to, as a fan, see one get thrown up at the basket, so maybe you make some history. Max took complete ownership for it after the game. He talked about that, LeBron probably should have got a timeout in there, or it looked like he called one and the refs didn't see it. He said, I think we should have got it. I should have called it too. As the inbounder, I need to be more aware. I need to make a better decision on the spot. He also continued, we ran the play right. They just switched on every single screen. So they play great defense. And again, I just need to call timeout. I got it to be better than that situation. I got to make a better decision than trying to force it. So that's on me. So that's all I can do. He's a young player. He's really been balling out the last week. He was excellent against the Trailblazers, excellent against the Hawks. Even in this game, 14 points, 6 rebounds. He had a decent game. It just sucks that the end was tarnished by a really bad play by him. He's going to grow from this. These are things that, young players learn. And LeBron and AD don't really make these mistakes because they played in so many games over the years. But you have to live with it. It sucks. It's a hard one to swallow in the sense that happened. The offensive foul called on LeBron. There was some iffy officiating, in my opinion, at the end of that game. They were calling it pretty tight. There was a lot of fouls going both ways. They weren't letting them play too much defense. So the Rockets 119, 115 over the Lakers. I'm glad the Lakers fought back in the game again, but Lakers definitely gonna want to get this team later in the year because the Rockets do seem to own the Lakers recently, and it's frustrating because the Rockets should not be owning the Lakers, even though they are a good team. Without Jabari Smith there, Jalen Green really got whatever he wanted, and hopefully the Lakers can bounce back against that next time they play them. But moving on, look at the Jovan Buha quote. So the Athletic, he works for the Athletic, was reporting the Lakers are still exploring potential trades in hopes of improving the roster. He said on his podcast, recent episode of Buha's Block. My understanding, as I reported, is that the Lakers are still going to be evaluating the trade market and that they are not satisfied with the current roster they have. They want to continue to improve it and explore these opportunities. So I think a trade is realistic. He also went on to note that a lot of people around the league don't believe that the 2 first-round picks that the Lakers could trade are available. Sounds like the Lakers want to keep that. So to make a big swing, you're going to need to include those picks. And I like that the Lakers are kind of holding that back because the Lakers, the Dorian Finney-Smith trade and the Shake Milton trade, the Lakers have been playing good basketball recently. So they have really seemed to improve around the edges. And also Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton are two players that we've been talking about that can help this team past the LeBron years, because that's been the big question is, do you go all in and try to get a third star, but then, maybe LeBron retires at the end of the year, maybe he goes somewhere else, maybe he retires after next year, and the team's kind of left in shambles. You got to start preparing for life without LeBron. And I think the Lakers did that with that trade. They didn't give up a bunch of picks. They gave up second rounders, which in the NBA are not that big a deal. So I like that the Lakers are kind of weary on trading away the first. And listen, if some crazy player becomes available, young, really talented player, then you got to pounce on it and make the move. But trading away a first-round draft picks for an older Jimmy Butler, 35-year-old Jimmy Butler. It was reported today, John Gambadora from Arizona Sports out in Phoenix, that Bradley Beal might waive his no-trade clause for the Lakers, one of the teams he would do that for. He actually had a huge night tonight against Philly. He had 25 points for the Suns. I'm not giving up first-round picks for that terrible contract and Bradley Beal and a guy who's 31 years old. And maybe a change of scenery would help him. He's averaging around 17 points per game this season, but he has not lived up to the billing of the big three in Phoenix, and you don't want to take on that contract. The only way you could take on that contract is if the Phoenix were dumping you picks back as well, and you worked with him on the deal a little bit, because Bradley Beal could be a useful player, but certainly not trading picks to get him, and the salary is just way too much to take on. So I think you kind of have to fleece Phoenix into giving you some picks back that you could flip into something else. And again, Jimmy Butler, just older player. Jimmy Butler is a super fun player to watch, but the Lakers need to get younger. And I think you saw that in a game against the Rockets, where they do have trouble with teams with young legs not getting older. So I think the base of the Lakers is really talented. You're hitting on connect. Max Christie, outside of the bad play, really looks like he's blossoming. Austin Reeves really took on his role since D'Lo left. The Lakers got some nice young talent on this team, and I think the Lakers also in a little limbo, because it'd be exciting to see this team fully when we're all hoping Vando's coming back soon. He started non-contact work off the floor. Hopefully Vando comes back. Christian Wood, Shafino doesn't play that much to begin with, but there's still some pieces coming back on this team that when they're fully healthy, the Lakers can be pretty dangerous, and they're somewhat dangerous right now, and they're only getting better. So it'll be interesting to monitor that as the trade deadline approaches and how desperate teams get, who becomes available. But I like that the Lakers are cautious on these picks and not just dumping them like the Lakers kind of used to do. Moving on to Dallas. This team, the Lakers are getting them at a good time for the Lakers. Kyrie Irving will not be playing. He got a bulging disc in his back. He's out 1 to 2 weeks. Luka Doncic got hurt on Christmas Day. So he will be out, suffered a calf strain on Christmas Day against the Timberwolves. Dante Exum, as I mentioned, is also out with he had right wrist surgery. So their backcourt is really hurt. I mean, this backcourt is going pretty deep down the depth chart. The starters, they actually played tonight, so they're going to be playing a back-to-back when the Lakers come in. They lost to the Grizzlies 119-104. They only played 8 guys. So Maxi Kleber was the starter, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Derek Lively, Najee Marshall. PJ Washington had a nice night with 17. Maxi Kleber is kind of an athletic big who can hit some threes. Klay Thompson, we all know, everyone knows who Klay Thompson is, Warriors, but definitely getting up there in age. Derek Lively is a nice young center out of Duke. And Marshall can score a little bit. Hasn't had the best year, but he's been all right. And then the 3 guys that really only play off the bench are Jaden Hardy, Quentin Grimes, who is went to Kansas, Houston, played for the Knicks for a while, known for his sharpshooting ability at the 3-point. And everyone's favorite, Spencer Dinwiddie, is back with the Dallas Mavericks. We all know Spencer Dinwiddie did not work out for the Lakers at all when he got signed in the buyout market, and but he plays significant minutes for them, and this is really only increasing because of all the injuries to the backcourt. Again, Luka, Kyrie, Exum, all these guys are out, so he's getting really thrust into a lot of time. I wouldn't even be surprised if he plays more tomorrow against the Lakers than he did against the Grizzlies. Daniel Gafford is the only game time decision for them. He suffered a left ankle sprain in that loss against the Grizzlies. On the Lakers side of things, AD and LeBron both probable, so looking like they're going to play. Cam Reddish is questionable with low back soreness. He's been dealing with that the last week. And Gabe Vincent is questionable with a left oblique strain. possibly could get back out on the floor for this game. That'd be nice, especially just for some guard depth. And the usuals out: Shafino, Vando, and Christian Wood are all out. The Lakers, for all you gambling fans, Lakers are favored by 6.5 currently. They open as a 3.5 point favorite. Kyrie Irving shifted this line. People, they're giving points to the home team. Made sense. Vegas kind of bet this line up. The total is currently at 219.5. It opened at 225.5. This is due to, I think, a lot of the injuries on the Mavs side. The totals come down. So if you're into betting that. So, and then this is good for the standings as well. We talked about how it sucks the Lakers didn't win that game against Houston because they could have, they were 2 games back before the game against Houston, could have kind of cut into that. Now they're 3 games back, but Dallas is only a half game back of the Lakers. And Dallas has really been in a free fall. They've lost their last 5 games. Because of these injuries, they've really been in a free fall, and you want to make sure you take advantage of a game. Again, not that we want anyone to be injured, but you want to make sure you take advantage of a game in Dallas where they're missing their best players, because you're thinking that Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic are going to be back by the time the Lakers play them next. The Lakers are going to play them 2 more times. So if you could steal a win on the road in Dallas, I think that'd be a huge, huge win for the Lakers. Get right back on track. Lakers been playing good ball recently. Again, Houston's a very good team, and just some critical mistakes at the end of the game. The Lakers fix that. I think they can definitely come out with a win and then get back to LA to be taking on the Hornets and then the Spurs twice over the weekend. So I'll be back with another preview video. Alan will get you on his show. Alan will also get you guys on the post-game show. And so hopefully we're talking about a Laker W. Thank you, everybody.